Hi everyone, welcome back to my workshop. Today we are focusing on tools. The most important tool in the workshop is of course the hammer. I've got two of them. The smaller one weighs about 600 grams and the bigger one about 1.5 kilogram. The bigger one has a bad beating surface and both of them are falling off their hafts. So we have to resolve that. First of all, we have to beat out the halves. Then we are gonna cut a groove into them so we can use wooden wedge to wedge them into the hammer heads. And after that, just to secure the whole piece, we are gonna use another wedge perpendicular to the first one. And this should prevent the hammer heads from flying all around the workshop, which is of course great. With closer look you can really see that the surface is full of holes and cracks and that it is really impossible to work with this hammer. Now it's a bit better, not perfect, because there are still some cracks, but I didn't want to cut a big piece from the hammer, so I just grinded it until it was somehow good. The future will tell us if it was enough, but I think that it should be enough because the beating of the red hot metal, which is quite soft, doesn't stress it as much as other uses. Here I have got a piece of oak wood from which we are making the wedges. Wedges are ready, now it's time for hafts. Okay, a little change. I intended to use two securing wedges per haft, but I will use only one because there is only so much space, and if I will force to use two of them, I will wreck the haft and the hammer will probably fall off. The second problem is that I rendered unusable both of my hammers, which is forcing me to improvise and use whatever left in my workshop. In my case, this means a hot chisel and a mace. These are definitely not perfect, but eventually we are gonna make them work. Okay, here we've got two securing wedges. I had to cut them with hacksaw because if I use the hardy tool they won't have a flat surface on the top, and I need the flat surface so it is possible to hammer them into the haft. And now we are ready to assemble the hammer. When you are mounting a hammer, it is crucial to mount it the correct way because the hole in the hammer is conical and the wider part must be on top. If you make it the other way, You can do whatever you want and it will always fall off. You can wedge it, you can use the securing wedges, it doesn't matter. It will always fall off because the haft doesn't have a space to expand and stuck itself in the hammerhead. As you can see, the wooden wedge broke off, but it is not a problem. It breaks off when it hits the bottom of the groove that we made earlier, and we really don't want anything else from the wedge. The wedge was in fact a bit longer than it should be, so it's in fact necessary to break it off, because otherwise it will stick from the front part of the hammer. Now we have to repeat this process for the second hammer. Again, we are gonna break off the wooden wedge and then secure it with the forged one. Okay, the hammers are done. As you can see, the haft is nicely spread with the wooden wedge and secured with the forged one. The forged one is really only securing it and not spreading it in the other direction because it's too narrow. And the surface is nicely grinded. I decided to not hit treat the hammer because I'm really afraid of mishits. I'm new to blacksmithing and mishits really do happen. Not often, but they do happen, and I'm quite afraid of the hammer becoming a little bomb. Also, I can heat treat it later, but it's quite unlikely because it's pain to de-haft them again, and I will rather make a new handmade hammer. Okay, the work is done. I finished what I wanted to finish today. The hammers looks beautiful and I really hope that I won't be forced to touch them any soon. With touching I mean that it won't be necessary to repair them, of course. Now I will jump on to making some more leaves. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye.